Welcome to the Friendly Moms Club podcast with Jen and Carly. We're the new mom friends you didn't know you needed.
We are creating a safe space to bring moms together, lighten the heaviness, and find joy in the everyday moments. Together, we will share our own experiences of being new moms while navigating the topics we wish more people talked about.
Join us every Monday to hear us skip the small talk and dive right into the uncomfortable. Here we are on Mom Day. Happy Mom Day, Jen.
Happy Mom Day, Carly.
Exciting day.
I know, and we are drinking these delicious iced coffees. So Carly has this Nespresso that we use, and we got these like iced coffee ones. And a little mom friend gave us a hot tip that at Trader Joe's, they have this brown sugar, I don't even know what it is.
Oat creamer.
Brown sugar oat creamer of some sort, and it is delicious.
It's
so
great.
Thank you for that tip. It was...
I think it's a knockoff of the Starbucks, you know, the shaken oat espresso.
Yeah, the cold
shaken
brew.
espresso oat, whatever. There's like an oat.
Brown sugar. Yeah. Maybe that's what this is. I'm going to have to look again.
That's
but
what it
anyways,
is.
Trader Joe's, it is delicious. And it was like $1.99 for that thing.
Bless you.
So, and it's so hot out right now here
Yeah.
where we are. So like iced coffee is just, it's
hitting the spot.
I know.
It's great. I'm here for it.
Samesies today. We are really on
We
the same
actually
page.
often have little, what's it called? Like when you jinx each other. We're on the same wavelength.
Talk at the same time. I don't know if there's another term for it.
Maybe we're like twins separated at birth.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Eh.
You're way too good looking to be my twin.
That is so far from the truth.
What do you mean?
We are both beautiful.
We are, just in our own ways.
In our very own unique ways.
Yeah.
I always tell an ad, because like I'm a little crazy, but instead of saying crazy, I always say I'm quirky.
You are, yeah. We're
Right,
both
like,
very quirky.
We're quirky. We have our quirks, but I love that. I wouldn't want to not have quirks. Like,
I've
that's
always
boring.
been an odd person. And you know what? I'm not everybody's cup of iced coffee.
Yeah. See what
You
you
like
did
that?
there?
Yeah, cheers. Ding.
Yeah. We went out this past weekend for
We did.
Carly's birthday.
We did.
And honestly, like, it was just so much fun. But it's just fun to, like, let loose.
I know,
let
be
your
ourselves.
quirk fly.
Yeah, let your freak flag fly.
Yeah, like, it's just, have a little fun.
Yeah, we had fun. We danced. I had my little handheld fan.
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked before about we're very sweaty. And what I actually like about Jen is that we're, like, she's equally as sweaty as me. And I can count on one hand how many people in my life I've met who can go head to head with the sweat situation. So I love that. But we were at a bar and it was hot in there. And, you know, we were having a couple adult beverages and dancing and mingling and all of that. And we're postpartum.
She brought a fan to a bar for her own birthday.
My little handheld fan. And you know what? My friend there reminded me that I did this before I had a baby. And I did this before I was pregnant. We did a girls' trip to Victoria once. And we'd be out and I'd bring up my little fan. And you know what? Everyone laughs at me until they need the fan. And then they're like, oh, this is glorious.
You lent it to me, and it was actually game changer for the night because I was so sweaty. Like, it was hot. Like, we're in high 30s that day. Like, it was hot, and I was just like sweating. My face was sweating, and so I just put it on the table in front of me when she lent it to me, and I was like, oh, this actually
It's
is
powerful.
Like, who cares what anyone thinks? Like, you can judge me all you want. I am loving this. I'm much more comfortable. I can enjoy myself more. And then later on in the night, Carly was like going around and like
people.
fanning everyone. She's like, my fan club. And yeah,
true.
she's very punny that night.
I am
Apparently when
really
you drink,
punny.
you get extra punny.
I was very punny that night.
You were. And your Ned loves puns. So I think that's why
we bonded.
my husband just, I think, gets
We're
along with her.
buddies.
Yeah, right?
We're buds.
Yeah.
Butteroos.
So today, let's talk about sleep, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
I don't know the rest.
I don't
Let's
know.
talk about all the good times and the bad times. That
But you get the
may
gist.
be.
We are talking about sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
I was going to say, it's actually not sleep. It's how little of sleep that you get. And
how
what
to
I
survive.
did not realize that sleep, that doesn't start when the baby is here. This whole sleep problem actually starts in pregnancy, which was like, I did not know that. No one warned me about that. Everyone just kept telling me, oh, catch up on sleep when you're pregnant, like catch up on sleep before the baby gets here. And I was like,
But you can't sleep.
that sounds easy enough, but no, it does not
Yeah.
actually happen. There's so many other things that happen in pregnancy that prevent that no one talks about.
I know. And the thing is, I had heard about it in the third trimester from being uncomfortable, and
Yes.
it's common to get insomnia then, which we'll talk about. I didn't realize it could start as soon as you get pregnant. And I think it's from elevated levels of progesterone. I think. we'll fact check that, but it's definitely hormonal. But from the like few nights before I found out I was pregnant, I started having insomnia. And then when I took the pregnancy test and it was positive, I was like, oh, I see.
There's so many reasons. Maybe there's a scientific progesterone reason, but there's
Yeah.
also just bodily things that are happening. Like, okay, not scientific, like the progesterone. How do you explain it? There's other things that lead to the lack of sleep.
It's not just hormones. It's also
the nausea and
your
vomiting.
Head. Yeah.
Yeah. The mental aspect of things can really prevent it. Peeing all the time.
All the time.
People, it changes different times in your pregnancy. You'll get this like need to pee all the time.
Mine was instant.
Oh, like really from the start? Maybe because I was just too busy being sick. So I
Yeah.
didn't notice that.
And you were probably severely dehydrated for a long time.
Okay, maybe. So I didn't notice the peeing thing till later on.
Yeah.
But that's a real thing. You get up to pee all the time. And then, especially as you get bigger, you're uncomfortable.
Back pain.
There's only certain positions you can sleep in. And so when you're like me and I love to sleep on my stomach and all of a sudden you can't sleep on your stomach anymore, that hits you hard in the sleep game. Like, how are you supposed to keep sleeping when you can't sleep in the position you sleep in?
Nothing is similar to sleeping on your stomach. Like if you're a back sleeper and you got to like wedge a little to the side, that's different. But if you are a stomach sleeper, I guess you could kind of go like, I don't know.
But when your tummy gets big, it is.
Yeah,
there's no
and you're
comfy
nauseous,
spot.
and then your boobs are ginormous. And
Honestly, it is just
rough.
Just no one talked about that. I just was not, I guess, prepared for it. So I feel like it was worse because everyone just kept telling me, "Oh, are you catching up on sleep?" I would if I could, but I can't.
And everyone says, "Oh, when you're pregnant, you're so tired. You're gonna go to bed at like 7 p.m." I never had that. I was tired, but I wasn't so tired that I could go to bed early. And I had all these other things keeping me up: anxiety, nausea, heartburn, peeing.
Yeah.
You know, just I was busy playing out my future in my head. I didn't have time to sleep.
Or once you once you can feel the baby kicking, you're like,
oh yeah,
was that enough? And you lay down.
Counting it.
And then you're counting how many is happening.
Yeah, it's rough.
Or as soon as you lay down, because what happens is your movement lulls the baby to sleep. So during the day when you're busy and active, the baby's sleeping inside you. And then when you lay down, then the baby is like, it's
Party
time
time.
it is time to go. And then they start moving and
Practicing
kicking.
their high kicks.
And so I've heard from so many women. For me, it was a little bit different. Like, I don't know with you with the anterior placenta. I didn't feel as much. So this one wasn't as big of a factor for me. I felt more movement at night, but it wasn't.
Yeah, same. We both had that.
It wasn't too bad because of the position of the placenta. But I know other moms who have said it is actually so bad.
Annoying.
And you can't sleep because it's just constant. They are moving and kicking and elbowing. And like, it's just, it's very hard to fall asleep and get in that restful state when you have something literally
You
moving
literally have a
inside you.
growing human inside of you.
Yeah, like that's moving around and trying to party and you just want to sleep.
I see. I wanted that, and I would keep myself awake waiting for him to kick.
Yes.
But I had an anterior placenta, so it's kind of like a block. You don't feel as much. Plus, my little sweet Henry's a little bit of a potato, and he was a potato inside. He moved enough, but he was not super, super active.
No.
And now that I've met him, I'm like, oh, it all makes sense.
I know. As he just lays there. Every time we
He's
play,
such a
he's just
blob.
like lays
He
there
just
and looks
loves
at
taking
all
in
the
the
other
world.
babies, and all the other babies are trying to like hit the others on the head or like suck on their head. That's common. And
I
like,
love that when they eat each other.
Henry just like looks
loves to
around.
hang
He just like,
out.
takes it all in.
He's very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, except if I'm trying to change a diaper, then he has to roll.
Yeah,
But
of course.
whatever.
So yeah, there is a lot that happens when you are pregnant that's going to change, that's going to affect your sleep. So there's some stuff that we kind of found helpful.
Yeah.
What do you think the number one thing is that you did when you were pregnant to help you sleep better?
Pregnancy pillow.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually had two. I had one for on the couch and one for in the bedroom. And then I also had like extra pillows because you just make it like a little pillow fort.
Seriously.
And it's very important. And aircon in the bedroom. That is top of the list.
If you're in a hot place, it's a game changer because you're already hotter when you're pregnant.
Yeah. And you don't handle, like you have lower heat tolerance as well. Yeah.
Just like mentally, I was just like, no, I could not handle the heat.
No, none of it. None of that. Yeah. Yeah. The pregnancy pillow, you loved yours too, right?
Yeah, but I always thought it was stupid. It was one of those things too that people talked about, and I'm like I like minimal pillows when I sleep. Let me do this. I
guess you're a
used to
stomach
sleep
sleeper,
with one thin pillow, and that was it. I've graduated post-pregnancy to 2 pillows now.
Wow.
But like one is still like literally this thin. It's so thin. But so when I'm like, why do people like pregnancy pillows? Like, I don't like snuggling. I'm not a snuggler. Don't touch me when I'm sleeping. So why would I want a pillow that's touching me all the time? Like, those are the thoughts that going through my head. But my sister had one. So she gave it to me. And one day I was just so fed up with my sleep that I was like, fine, I'm just going to try it. And like,
It's lovely.
game changer.
Lovely. They're great. And if
Yes.
you don't like lots of pillows around you, you can also get little wedges you can put
Yes.
underneath your hips.
Yeah.
Because when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to sleep on your stomach, and also flat on your back can make you a little lightheaded. So it's good to kind of offset your hips a
Yep.
little, so you can get little wedges so that you don't have to have these massive pillows. Although, just try it, please.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of them, like mine was really long, so I could put it in between my
Yep.
knees because it helps take that pressure off your hips too.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
you're going to start feeling that pain and pressure. So when you can actually have a long enough one or a wedge or another pillow to go between your legs, that's also,
It was lovely.
It makes
the
a
pregnancy
difference.
pillow was fantastic.
it was a lot of work though, because like you'd have to get in your like specific position and then you'd be awake laying there, not able to sleep. And be like,
Yeah. And then
I
even
have
like
to pee. And you're like, no,
Yeah.
I just got comfortable. And then you have to move all the pillows, roll out of
get
bed.
in and out of bed, and even getting like being in bed and flipping to the other side is like an Olympic sport when
I
you're
know.
very pregnant.
And you get sweaty like us. So you're like sweat's
oh my
dropping
gosh.
down.
Yeah, the aircon, very important.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeah.
But what did you do to help with the like anxiety at nighttime and the like ruminating thoughts and
So, I mean, I talked about this with my therapist a lot. And so I would listen to either like a mindfulness practice, a meditation, doing yoga before bed, just, yeah, like having headphones, or they actually make headbands that have like Bluetooth speakers inside that you can get from Amazon. And you can even put them across your eyes. So it's kind of like an eye mask, headphones.
lull all the senses at once?
Right. And then this way it doesn't, because if you just have like earbuds or speakers, it can be uncomfortable to sleep on and they can fall out. So if you order something like that, it's super helpful because then your partner doesn't have to hear it. So I would just play like some sort of mindfulness practice. There's one specifically for like insomnia, lack of sleep. There's ones for stress and anxiety.
There's ones for pregnancy meditations. There's a lot of really like ones that are not like encouraging, positive and like affirming pregnancy ones. Like,
Yes.
I will have a healthy baby.
Yes.
My body's capable of being pregnant. And
Yes.
those are good when if your dark thoughts are keeping you up, those can be very helpful.
Yes. And if you're having a lot of bad thoughts, I mean, we've said this before in other episodes, but if you're having these bad thoughts and they're just not going away and they're staying and you can't get rid of them, it's a good thing to talk to a therapist. And
definitely.
maybe you might need to take some medication for a short period
or
of time.
start counseling
Or, start doing something to take care of your mental health because it is going to affect you a lot in pregnancy. But then when you have the baby, it can really come into play as well.
Definitely.
So if that is a thing and, doing these little mindfulness practices and stuff and that doesn't seem to help and they're really still circling in your brain, just again, is the encouragement to reach out and ask for help because it's not okay. You don't want to just be laying there in bed every night, just
if your
drowning
thoughts,
in your thoughts.
Exactly. If your thoughts are actually keeping you awake, then
Yes.
definitely reach out for help.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's common, but it's not normal, as we
Yes.
like
And if
to
you're just
say.
having like some thoughts and you can't shut your brain off. And because sometimes for me, it's just like, they're
Your
not
busy
necessarily
brain,
bad
just
thoughts,
busy.
but my brain, the thoughts are just going and going.
Yeah.
So that for me is when I can put on sleep music, white noise, some sort of mindfulness. It just kind of focuses my brain on one spot and then I can actually fall asleep. So
Yeah. One thing my therapist actually recommended is telling yourself things like, okay, the day is done. I've done everything that I can today. Even if you haven't completed all your tasks, just saying like, I've done all of the things that I was capable of doing today.
Yep.
Today, I took great care of my baby, and tomorrow's a new day. And tomorrow I will finish the things I didn't finish, but just telling your brain, okay, the day is done. It's time to rest. It's time
Yep.
to sleep.
Yep.
And even just saying that over and over again that was very helpful for me. And I also find sometimes I need to do a brain dump before bed. So I'll either write a bunch of things out on my phone or like on pen and paper.
Yep.
Because I can't sleep if I know, okay, tomorrow I have to do this, this, and this. And I'll stress about it that I'm going to forget it or it won't come to mind. And all your best thoughts come to you at midnight.
I know, honestly.
When you're in bed.
Yeah.
So doing a little brain dump before bed, and then if there's things you're worried about, write them out. You can have don't have serious, deep conversations with your partner, but it is a time to get things, little things off your chest.
Yeah.
Write them out and then tell yourself, okay, the day is done. I was great today. High five. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. The day is done. Time to sleep.
Yep. And
that was helpful.
I think that it's a good thing to note, just pen and paper is the preferred method.
Stay
so
off
that
the
you're not on
screens.
your phone, because screen time can really hinder your ability to sleep. And it can still be just like that thought that keeps going through your head. Write it out. Like just write it out. It gets it out of your head. And sometimes that's enough to just like stop the thought from repeating itself.
Definitely.
And so, I mean, I've had to do this a lot in my therapy. I have really bad nightmares, and that's a very common thing when you have a nightmare, when you wake up, to write down everything that you remember from your bad dream.
Interesting.
And it's a way to help yourself process it. So your mind actually like almost organizes things.
Okay.
And so it's very common. So having that pen and paper beside your bed, just in case you need to do that, like, crap, I need to do this tomorrow. Like, oh, the baby's coming in 7 weeks. I need to get this. Like, just write it down, and you're going to be like, okay, so it's on the, it's not going to sit there in your brain. So,
and if they're scary thoughts, then you can read them the next day and reflect on them. And you can look back and be like, okay, every night this week I've had this thought. And then it can tell you like, okay, this is consuming me more than I think.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't realize like how often you're having these thoughts or how debilitating they are.
But other than a pen and paper, there's other things we also recommend to have on your nightstand.
Yes.
Food and snacks.
Snackies.
Yeah, like real thing. And even in the beginning with the nausea, I needed to have crackers on. So on my nightstand? What do you call it?
Same.
Is a bedstand a thing? I don't know. That's like very common for me to misinterpret my words and sayings, and I say the wrong thing. And
Mix your words?
I get made fun of a lot.
You wix your words. Well, that's different.
I couldn't even say that. Anyways, on my nightstand, I had crackers at all times. And every night before bed, I would have to have something to eat, like literally right before bed, so that I wasn't nauseous through the night and I could actually sleep for a little bit. And then I'd wake up and I'd have to have more in the middle of the night. And then in the morning, before I even got out of bed.
Before you sit up.
Before you sit up. It's a very good idea if you've had nausea problems to eat something, because it helps regulate your body again.
Yeah, your blood sugar.
Yes, your blood sugars. Because then when you sit up, if you try to just get up and jump out of bed, your blood sugars, and you can get really dizzy and lightheaded.
Run to the toilet to throw up.
And nauseous. So snacks.
And also sometimes often when you're pregnant, you wake up in the middle of the night starving. Like this like gut wrenching hunger.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. So I had some like salted almonds when I was like actually hungry, just for a little bit more sustenance. And then I did the same thing. I had to have crackers before I got out of bed to stop the dry heaving. Yeah, I actually had like a little basket I carried around, and it had a little peppermint roller because that really helped me with my nausea. I don't remember what else I had in there. I had candy, snacks,
probably water, maybe.
Yeah, well, I had my jug.
Bottle.
I'm a water jug kind of gal. If you're watching, I'm holding up my.
Nice
I think it's
jugs.
Thank you. I think it's a 2-liter jug.
I also had the exact same one. It's from Costco, and I had the exact same one in pregnancy because
it's great.
It was just like you get thirsty, but then also it got really hot, and then being pregnant, I was just extra hot.
You're also
and thirsty.
throwing up everything, so
But I my husband would fill it up for me, and I would just. So it was great. And like you put a little ice and it stays really cold. So it's like refreshing water, because sometimes you need cold water. Warm water just meh.
Yeah, cold is nice.
Just doesn't work, right?
Cold is in.
Yeah.
It's in. Another thing I did often, kind of going back to the headphones, I'm not great at listening to meditations when I'm trying to sleep, because I find that I have such a busy brain that it bores me. It doesn't relax me. Yeah. For me, I find meditation works best if I'm actually moving. I actually would listen to podcasts because I didn't want to be on my phone and watching TV. Yes. And watching TV will put me to sleep, but then it affects my quality of sleep.
Totally. Yeah.
So on like the really bad nights, once in a while I would. And then I was actually too nauseous often to read because it made me feel more nauseous, like I was car sick.
Yep.
So I started listening to podcasts at night, and so many random ones. My favorite one was The Birth Hour. It's a fantastic podcast that has listeners on, and they share their birth story. And it can be really great because it can kind of expose you to a whole bunch of different birth scenarios and really prepare you for birth. Might not be the best idea if you're on the anxious side.
I was going to say this probably would have been terrible for me at bed, but everyone is different, right?
You can listen to like funny ones. You can like look up your favorite celebrities. Everyone has a podcast now, including us. So you can have like lighthearted fun ones that you don't care if you fall asleep in. Sometimes I find having something to focus on actually puts me to sleep because it calms my mind. So podcasts were big. And then when pregnant, when I was having those like bouts of hours of insomnia, I found sometimes it's best to get out of bed, have a snack, kind of a change of scenery, and then I'd go back into bed and I would listen to my podcast, and I would tell myself, it's okay if you don't sleep. If I was up for 3-4 hours, I would have to tell myself it's okay, because otherwise I would stress about it and be like, okay, if I fall asleep now, I'll get 6 hours of sleep. If I fall asleep now, I'll get 5 hours of sleep. Yeah. So the podcast was a good way to still like you can't just lie there and stare at the back of your eyeballs or back of your eyelids. So it gave me something to do that also kind of facilitated sleep if my body was going to allow it.
And I think the reset is important, that get out of bed, do something, go to the bathroom, wash your face, like just do something.
Read a book.
Maybe not wash your face because that might
Wake
invigorate you some more. So maybe terrible advice, but
try it. Maybe it works for you.
Something, right? Like just give your body that little reset and then try going to bed again. So,
I highly recommend a bowl of cereal.
I also like nighttime cereal. Same. Same. Yeah.
Twins that separated.
That's why we get along.
Yes. Yeah, cereal's good.
Yeah.
Because you can have a little bowl, you can have a big bowl.
I know. Sometimes
you can have two bowls.
I'll have
the leftover milk.
Yeah. And then you just gotta pour more in and then you
finish.
I know.
The amount of bowls of cereal that I ate while standing in the kitchen when I was pregnant, it was excessive. I mean,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was great.
I did. I loved cereal. When I could eat, cereal was good.
Rough.
So I feel that's most of the stuff about pregnancy, and some of it will same between
crossover. Oh, yes. Another thing is if your partner's a snorer, or if you suddenly start snoring during pregnancy. Hello, that was me. My husband actually started sleeping in the spare room because I was keeping him up, and then he was tossing and turning and getting mad at me and telling me I'm snoring. So he started sleeping in the other room, and that actually worked really well for us because I needed my beauty sleep. And
also, those pregnancy pillows take up a lot of room.
They do,
so depending on the size of your bed and just like
get a king size, just
schematics.
Do it. Yeah, if you can.
Yes, if you can get a king size bed, but also your partner might have to sleep somewhere else because sleep is important. And
it is.
We'll go over that at the very end of the episode, but it is so important. So it's honestly, there's lots of actual relationships that people don't sleep in the same bedroom and it works great for them. And we're not saying you need to do this forever, but if it's a short-term thing, it might be worth it. So it's something to consider, talk to about your spouse, and just see, because for us, we had a king size bed and it worked out with the sleep pillow, but I think I took up like 2/3 of the bed with it.
Oh yeah.
Because it's seriously large. And then all my other pillows, and
I would tell my husband that every heartbeat gets 1/3 of the bed. So because I had two, me and baby, I'd get 2/3 of the bed.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's fair. Oh, and another thing for sleep when pregnant, you can get excessive thirst if you've been either vomiting all day or just too busy to drink water or too nauseous.
Yeah.
So I would often do that. I'd get like a wind around like 8 o'clock where I felt better and I would just like pound water, but then I'd be up all night peeing. So don't do that. Learn from me. I mean, you've got to hydrate, but also don't chug a liter of water before bed because you already have to get up to pee. So then that would leave
you got to find your balance.
Yeah. Eat the cereal.
Okay, so postpartum, like honestly, sleep is just not existent in the first like 6 to 8 weeks, I would say.
Yeah, it's non-existent. I was going to say.
I'm trying to be positive here for everyone's sake to be like, but
it's like, very hard to, you're not going to be getting 8 hours of beauty sleep.
You're going to be very small chunks throughout the day is what it's going to look like. It's not going to be some big, long.
And it's not all night sleep.
Restful night sleep. It's just going to be small chunks. Power naps that you are taking randomly to try to keep going. And it's just about getting your body to keep going in the beginning.
Yeah.
It is not about rest, really. You just can't, you're not ever feeling rested.
No. Because there's so many things to do.
Yeah.
So like babies, they need a lot. They're so funny. They're just like these little meatloafs, but they need you for everything. So like everything that a baby needs, somebody has to do it for them. And then on top of that, if you're breastfeeding, you're learning to breastfeed. And then you have to feed the baby every 3 hours. So you have to feed the baby often. So you have to wake them to feed sometimes. And then you feed them. And that takes a long time. Those little buggers keep falling asleep on you. And then if you're trying to increase milk supply, then you have to pump. And then, or you're just pumping in bottle feeding, or even if you're giving formula, you still have to like prep the formula and wash the bottles and sanitize the bottles.
Washing and sanitizing takes up way more time than I think anyone could ever have imagined. It's a job and you have to do it a lot.
Exhausting.
And it is, because I think you always do it at the time when you're going to sleep. It's one of those like, like you go to sleep, crap the bottles. Like it's one of those, you always leave it kind of to the end. And so it seems way worse than it is, but it's a chore.
It's a lot. And then you have to feed yourself. You have to clean yourself. You have to clean the baby.
Yeah.
You don't have to clean your partner. They can do that on their own, hopefully. Maybe they can't. And then you want to shower. And then like the routine, it just takes so much longer. Like you have to feed and then you have to change them. Then you have to settle them. And then you have to get them to sleep. And then you have to transfer them to a sleep space. And then you need to pee. You need to eat. And then all of a sudden the baby's awake. And you're like, oh, here we go again.
And figuring out your routine, right? Yeah. Like it takes a long time to figure out what you're going to do. And then when you feel like you're finally in the rhythm, something's going to change. And
A
then
visitor.
you have to I mean something with the baby, but yes.
Yes, the freaking visitors. They sometimes don't stop.
We love
Yeah.
getting visitors, but at the same time we hate it. Like it's just
Yeah.
a love-hate relationship with people wanting to come over because it's great and you love it, but at the same time
It's exhausting.
it's just like adds a wrench into your plan,
Yeah.
right? So then you're having to like recalculate things. Then are you just going to pump in front of them? Like what we talked
Yeah.
about last week, like boobs are just going to come out because you can't just wait and not do it because then it's going to interrupt other parts of your day,
Yeah.
namely sleep. Sleep is what's going to
Definitely.
fall to the back burner, but sleep is one of the most
You
important
need to make it a priority
things to do.
And I think it's episode number 4. We'll link it below. We talk about how to survive the first month postpartum.
Yes.
And one of the things that we really suggested was put those visitors to work. Make
Yeah.
them bring food. Get them to hold baby while you sleep.
Yep.
Get them
And-
to do things that be helpful.
And take them up on whatever
Yeah.
offer it's going to be and say, great, it's so nice to meet you. You want to hold the baby? Great. I'm going to go lie down for 20
Yeah.
minutes. Even if you don't sleep, even if you can just rest and close your eyes for 20 minutes,
Maybe listen to our podcast.
those people are going to be there.
Yeah.
All your loved ones, you're going to be able to see them and socialize with them when you are feeling better and you're getting more rest.
Yeah.
So in those first little while, sleep is the most important. So like, hi visitors, love you. I'm doing well. I need sleep. If you can hold her for half
Yeah.
an hour, I just
Definitely.
need to lie down. Like take them up on these offers and rest.
For sure.
Shower maybe for 2 minutes and then rest.
Yeah. We're 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
That is true.
what else keeps you up postpartum? Oh, the mind. The insomnia continues.
Yeah.
me.
It doesn't, it's like the never ending to-do list
Yeah.
of the invisible load of motherhood, which we will talk about in another episode, but it's a real thing.
I mean, we've talked about it already. And, well, yeah.
There's just so much to think about, so much to do. And my baby's not gaining weight. She's not eating enough. I'm
Not
not
pooping
producing
enough,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't pooped. When did she poop last? We had a whole chart that we were filling out with everything. And I'd lay in bed and be like, we didn't fill it out. So I'd have to get up and I'd have to fill it out because if I didn't, I couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
So there's all that overactive mind. Like it's all very important stuff. But
it's stimulating. I found getting out of bed
Yes.
and feeding the baby so stimulating. But then I found when I tried to breastfeed him in bed that he didn't feed well. It was harder. So I had to like take him and come downstairs and I would often pump and give him a bottle and then I have to put the milk away. And it was it's a process. It's
Yeah.
stimulating. And then my husband's next to me snoring. And then, like I said, last episode, I'd get him to get up with baby. Or was that this episode? I don't know.
Nope, last episode.
All right, last episode.
Yep.
I'd get him to get up and feed baby and so I could stay and sleep. But then he would get up, feed baby, change baby, settle them, and fall asleep before me.
Yeah. And my husband and I talk about this because if I get up with her to give her a bottle because we bottle feed, he doesn't even wake up. He doesn't even register it. And most times I hear her and I have to wake him up when it's his
Yeah.
turn because we take turns. So we do one, then the other. Like we just rotate back and forth. But I get up for every single time, like every feed.
Like
every
you don't
time
get
she
out of
cries.
bed, but you wake
No,
up.
but I wake
Yeah.
up, whereas he doesn't. He only wakes up when either it gets really bad and he hears it or if I wake him up.
Yeah.
So
When he gets smacked.
yeah, when he gets little pushes and nudges from me, and sometimes I have to get like quite aggressive to actually get him up because he's in such a deep sleep. But I'm
Hibernating.
awake, and he'll go feed her, come back to sleep, be snoring again, and I
you're
didn't even get
still
out of bed, and I'm
awake.
still
Yeah.
awake. So it's just
It's hard.
oh, it is so hard. I cannot get up and feed and then go back to bed right away, no matter how tired you are.
Mm-hmm.
You will feel like a zombie walking. You'll lay down in bed and be like, why can't I sleep? And it is
Yeah.
frustrating. And then you start negative self-talk. And it's,
Yeah. And that's why it's important to make sleep a priority for the whole day, not just nighttime.
Yes.
Something that actually really worked for us, one of the top strategies was each person having a dedicated 4-hour chunk where they are not woken. So first we did it at nighttime where I would pump and then I would go to bed and I would lay down. And I mean, we didn't do this as much in the first month. This was more like once we got into a routine. I think probably week like 4-ish we started this. But I would pump, leave the baby and the bottle with my husband, go to bed early. I was going to bed at like 8 p.m., which I've never done.
Yep.
Not even when pregnant. So I'd go to bed early and then Jeff would deal with baby, feed him, give him a diaper change, and then bring him up. And then very quietly put him in the bassinet next to me. And then I wouldn't be on baby duty until the next feed. So usually, since I went to bed before that feed, it would give me a 4, sometimes even 5-hour chunk of uninterrupted sleep. And that was life-changing.
Yeah.
And then later on, I would actually get up. I wasn't ready to do this right away, but eventually I felt okay going to the spare room. So I'd get up for his last feed overnight. And about 5, 6 in the morning, I'd go to the spare room and then I could sleep for like an hour or two uninterrupted without a baby next to you. That makes such a difference.
Yes.
Because you're not hearing all their grunts and groans, and you could have like a real power nap. And
It revitalizes you for the day. Like it actually gives you the actual energy to get up and be the best mom and care for your baby. Because if you're not sleeping, it's really hard to do your best and care for your baby. You're going to do it. Your body can
biologically wired to do it.
Yes, your body is going to do it, but it is going to take literally everything you've got, and it is just exhausting. And to have fun and really enjoy the process, you need to try to get some sleep. It needs to be a priority.
And at least rest. You don't always sleep, but rest. So like Jen said, when you have visitors that come over and they're offering to hold the baby, even if they don't offer, just say, hey, can you take baby for half an hour, go shower and go lay down for half an hour in a dark room, close your eyes, put on an eye mask, put on a podcast, whatever makes you happy. Just quietness. We actually would schedule certain visitors, usually the grandparents, to come over and hold the baby while I went and had a nap during the day. So this was after my partner went back to work, and it was life-changing. Even if I had a good sleep the night before, I always napped, and I'm not a napper at all. I work shift work and I really struggle napping before night shifts, but after a baby,
anything goes.
It was easy. It was good. So take those people up on those offers. Get your chunks.
Literally forget about your house. It does not need to be pristine and this like perfect, clean environment. The priorities are you and your baby getting sleep, feeding, pumping, cleaning the bottles, yes, or pump parts or whatever that you need to clean.
The minimal,
that is it.
The bare minimum.
The rest you can do at a later time. Like, who cares about your guests coming in and there's like some bags on the like it just
put them
doesn't
to
matter.
work.
Yes, put them to work. But the first priority when you have any time is rest.
To rest.
And we really want to just like drive that idea home of like, forget about the house, forget about these other things, especially in the beginning. Then you can slowly bring them back up. Once you have the routine down, once you have a bit more time, baby's sleeping better, feedings are farther apart, then you can have, way more time for cleaning and meal prep and, all those other things that you can slowly add back in.
And also to help you postpartum, in our episode 4 about how to survive postpartum, we talk about all the systems and things you can do in your house to prepare you. So if you have stations throughout your house, you have diapering stations in every room, you have little postpartum baskets for your own self-care, you have clothes that fits you at the front of your closet. If you do that before and you set yourself up for success postpartum, then all of the time you could have been like that you would have spent, finding diapers or finding clothes that fits, you use that to rest.
5 minutes here and there will add up. And you're going to be so grateful for 15 extra minutes.
Exactly.
You're just going to be like, oh, this is glorious.
Yes. And have spare baby outfits. If you live on a split floor house, or even if it's, a long walk to the bedroom, have extra clothes for baby, have extra clothes for you, have snacks and phone chargers and water, like in every area of your house. It sounds so silly, but when you're so tired, getting up and walking across the house is exhausting.
It is. And you're just going to be a little bit like a zombie. And we really want to drive home this idea in this episode today is just how important sleep is. And there's so many factors that go into why maybe you're not sleeping very well. But at the end of the day, you just need to try to prioritize it. It is a form of self-care. It is important for you and for you to be able to function the best that you can for your family and for your baby.
And you can't control everything. You can't control a baby. You can't make them stay asleep longer. I mean, if we could, we would have. But do what is within your control. And, social media can wait. Catching up with visitors, phoning friends, all of that can wait. Although sometimes a nice visit and having adult talk, like that was really refreshing. But just prioritize yourself. Like, say, okay, we have these people coming today. What do I need today? Do I need a social visit or do I need a half an hour rest? Or maybe you need both.
15 minutes of each, it makes a difference. So.
And like your body, like we said, it's biologically wired to survive this time. You run on adrenaline. It is shocking how half decent you can feel with such little sleep. But you will feel so much better and actually mentally feel so much more stable if you can get yourself a little bit more sleep.
And I think you just enjoy it more when you're sleeping a bit more. And
you're not going to be having these long stretches, but if you can get 5-6 hours of broken sleep in a 24-hour period, or even more, 7, you're going to feel a lot better.
It's going to be good. So,
Fantastic.
that is sleep.
That's it.
Yeah.
We talked about it. If you have any good tips of what helped you sleep or little mom hacks, definitely comment below, send us a DM, we can share it.
Yeah, email us. Just let us know. We're happy to share all the advice. We will take any advice from everyone,
yeah.
right? Like we want to know what worked for you.
Because we're not experts.
No.
We're new moms. I mean, we've been through the postpartum, like the 4th trimester. We both survived that relatively unscathed.
I mean, we talk to a lot of moms.
Yeah.
We know what happened and what worked, didn't work for a lot of other moms. Like this is something we talk about a lot in sleep because it's so important.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot.
But we want you to share your experience with us as well.
Yeah, we like hearing other stories too, right?
So if you happen to have like 17 children, tell us how you do it.
Yeah, what worked, what didn't work. We would like to know. Asking for a friend, but not really.
Definitely.
I'm not getting good sleep, so I will take any tips. So
fantastic. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not fantastic. You're not getting good sleep. But
yeah.
But you are doing all of the things you can to optimize your sleep.
Yes.
Because it is really important to optimize your sleep and your rest.
Well, yeah, I'm taking it very seriously.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine if you weren't, you would be sleeping half as much probably.
I know. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about our Mom Day mantra because this is exactly it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So put sleep at the top of your to-do list. Simple.
Yes.
Optimize your sleep, optimize your rest. Because we all know that saying sleep when the baby sleeps is absolute trash. Sure, sometimes you can nap when baby sleeps, but there's so many other things. We talked about bottles and pump parts and breastfeeding and feeding yourself and showering. That's what you do when baby sleeps. So you cannot sleep all the time when baby sleeps.
There's all the memes out there that like went around about like moms washing bottles. I mean, like sleep when the baby sleeps and asleep on the sink and like
or
there's so many other things and it's not actually practical. So that saying, although it sounds great, is not actually a real thing. It's not practical.
I mean, sometimes you can sleep when the baby sleeps, but also you can only do that if you put sleep at the top of your to-do list.
Yes.
If you have other priorities of entertaining people or cleaning your house or I don't know what other people do.
Making food for people.
And
bring their own food.
Returning phone calls and
Yeah.
Although I did spend time picking out cute baby outfits, but minimal time.
Do things that fill your heart too. But sleep at the top of the list.
Definitely. Because you can't, what is it? You can't pour out of an empty cup.
Yeah. I mean, that's close enough.
Yeah. What is it?
I don't know. I think it's something like
along
that.
those lines. Yeah. You got to fill your cup so that you can help other people. Save yourself first.
Yep. Like the airplanes, put on your air mask before you put it on anyone else.
Definitely.
Same idea. You have to take care of yourself.
For sure.
So yeah, let us know if you have any questions, what you liked, what you didn't like. We always want feedback and we want to hear from you.
Tell us your tips or just commiserate with us.
I thought you were going to say something about tits.
Yeah, show us your tits.
What are we talking about? So yeah, well, happy Mom Day. Thanks for joining us. And we will see you next week.
See you next week. Bye now.